Blog site Gossip in the City shared footage of Diddy's family walking out of court today. The post was liked by Young Miami, Diddy's former girlfriend or fling, who surprisingly was not called by the government to testify.
Miss Janice, how you doing, Miss Janice? Miss Janice, it's me.
I stepped it out the street.
All mama's a mama, guys.
Mister, get out the fuck out the street. Get off that street.
All mamas
Get
love
off
their
that street,
kids.
son.
All mamas love their kids, guys. All mamas a mama, guys.
You lucky I
All mamas a mama, guys. You gotta respect mamas.
Excuse me.
You know what I'm saying? She loves her son.
Here are a few highlighted comments underneath the post. At the end of the day, Diddy should have been a better father, one user shared. They look fine, which the blog site reacted to. Daughter is literally crying. They are not fine. Sean Diddy Combs was portrayed in his lawyer's closing argument on Friday as the victim of an overzealous prosecution that tried to turn the recreational use of drugs and a swinger lifestyle into a racketeering conspiracy that could put the music mogul behind bars for life. Attorney Mark Angifilo mocked the government's case against Combs and belittled the agents who seized hundreds of bottles of Astroglide lubricant and baby oil at his properties as he began a presentation expected to last several hours. "Way to go, fellas," he said of the agents. He said prosecutors had badly exaggerated evidence of the swinger lifestyle and threesomes to combine it with recreational drug use and call it a racketeering conspiracy. He did not do the things he's charged with. He didn't do racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking, the lawyer said. Agnifilo also called Combs' prosecution a fake trial and ridiculed the notion that he engaged in racketeering. "Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?" Agnifilo asked. "Did any witness get on that witness stand and say, yes, I was part of a racketeering enterprise? I engaged in racketeering?" "No," Agnifilo argued, telling jurors that those accusations were a figment of the prosecution's imagination. Combs' family, including 6 of his children and his mother, were in the audience for the closing. "All his life, Combs has taken care of people," Agnifilo said, including the ex-girlfriend who testified under the pseudonym Jane, whose rent he's paying. "I don't know what Jane is doing today," Agnifilo said, "but she's doing it in a house he's paying for." Referring to lawsuits filed by Combs' accusers, he said, "This isn't about crime, it's about money. This is about money." He noted that Combs' girlfriend of nearly 11 years, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, sued him in a lawsuit that was settled for $20 million in a day in November 2023, triggering a federal probe the following day. "If you had to pick a winner in this whole thing, it's hard not to pick Cassie," Agnifilo said. Cassie and Jane both testified during the trial that they were coerced repeatedly by Combs to perform in drug-fueled, days-long sex marathons with male sex workers while Combs watched, directed, masturbated, and sometimes filmed the encounters. If convicted, Combs could face a mandatory minimum of 15 years in prison and a maximum of life.
Let's talk Diddy closing arguments today. I watched and I've heard the government's closing argument. When I say I watched, I've read different things about what they said and how they said it. Interesting argument. I think that it was well written, well done. I think they're still going to have trouble. They tried as much as they could to distance themselves from certain aspects of the case, such as Cassie hiring the prostitutes, Cassie directing the prostitutes, Cassie paying the prostitutes, Cassie writing texts about that she can't wait to be with the prostitutes. So I think they've tried to put that in a box somehow so that the jury can convict on a RICO charge. I think it's still difficult. The RICO and the trafficking are still difficult charges to prove. I think that they can get him on the, crossing state lines with prostitution. And if that's really what they get at the end of the day, I think that they're in for some trouble in terms of how the public perception would be. Again, this case shaped up to be a lot different than it was originally, reporting on. I don't think that what they originally said really came to light in the trial itself, in the closing, and I think you saw that. We will see what the defense has to say in their closing, but I think it's going to be strong, passionate. I know that they will do a good job, and we'll find out what's going to happen. Listen, I can be wrong. Every pundit that speaks could be wrong. It could be a clean sweep of not guilties. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think that it's going to be very difficult to get a guilty on every charge. But it could. It could happen. Let's see what all shakes out today.
As closing arguments in Sean Diddy Combs' criminal trial wind down, attorneys for the embattled hip-hop mogul will offer their final defense before jury deliberations. Combs and his legal team were back in Manhattan court on June 27th to plead his case to jurors in the sweeping federal sex crimes probe. Combs' lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, kicked off the defense's closing arguments by framing the case as a tale of two trials, claiming the government distorted the mogul's consensual sexual lifestyle into criminal acts, while witnesses spoke of the successful black entrepreneur as a respected and generous figure. Agnifilo praised Combs' past, suggesting the accusations against him paint a false, exaggerated picture. Agnifilo argued the case is about love, jealousy, and money, not trafficking or racketeering, and accused the government of putting on a show to target a wealthy celebrity. For the government to call this a racketeering enterprise, Agnifilo said, "Are you kidding me? That's the fake trial I'm telling you about." This comes after prosecutors kicked off closing arguments on June 26th, which lasted about 6 hours. Referencing an incident in which Cassandra Cassie Ventura Fine allegedly stayed in a London hotel room for a week to hide the injuries Combs had inflicted, Agnifilo sarcastically said it was a one-for-the-ages kidnapping. Saying that she wanted to go to Combs' house but was forced to stay at the hotel, Agnifilo told jurors, "When you want to go to the house of the guy charged with the kidnapping, it's not a kidnapping." "They don't want bad press," he said of the former couple. Turning to the hotel cover-up, in which Combs allegedly paid large sums of cash to make a video of him beating Ventura Fine go away, Agnifilo said, "They're not worried about police, they're worried about bad publicity. Do you believe Diddy will be found guilty?"